Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. What's up, guys? So I just posted this video on Instagram as a reel, so feel free to go and like that and let me know if you came from this video. That'd be awesome. So comment and let me know if you came from here. I'm curious. There's nobody watching now because I just started the stream, but okay, so I want to model this little rascal, and I don't know how or where I'm going to start, but it's always with the move tool. Oh, I can picture his little face now. Okay, I get so excited about making things in 3D. Sorry, I did some cat grooming, hair grooming, so just like floating around. I can't get away from it. Okay, so first and foremost, let me do a more neutral background. I want it to be a little bit warmer. I like, even if I'm using grays, I like warmer. I always like warmer tones. Okay, so I want to first make this smaller. I'm going to transform this. I just made a little tutorial about the transform tool. It's very useful. Very, very useful. So I'll put that over on the side like so. And now I think I simple tap. Okay, so I'm going to start with the grid because I like to know where the ground is. And I've also been starting with making my sculpts bigger. So I'll just make this a little bit bigger. Okay. I think now I can start. I'll put it to orthographic. Okay, so I'll start with the right side of his face, and that should be easy enough. Obviously, since he is on the right, make sure that I am symmetrical. Okay, so looks like we want to work on that. Something like this. Oops. I gotta be careful when I'm working, when I make the brush small, because I don't want to add too much movement to it. Big movements are okay. I like big movements, but I really want to keep the head, make sure I'm perfectly. Okay, so I have to make those long kind of things, those little horns on his nose, so I just have to make sure that I leave room for that. This might be a quick stream. We'll see. Okay, this is nice and straight here. That actually looks pretty good. I wish this was rounder though. And this is a little bit raised. Okay, that's not bad for a side view. Okay, so we'll make it perfectly to the front. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tilt it down a little bit. Okay. And back to our trusty move tool. There he has this nice round. There we go. That's how I picture it, at least in my head. It's actually pretty good. Okay, I like the way that looks. Alright, so how do I want to do... He's got some kind of bones that sort of protrude. Let's go right and take a look. I need to make sure that this is all round back here. So I need to pull this out. That looks okay, but I want this to be completely round. That's better. And I'm not sure exactly how the easiest way to do the eyes, or if I should do these horn type things first. I'll probably do that first, I think. But I'll do them separately, and then I think I'll connect them together. So when I think about those, let's see. Cylinder? Would a cylinder even work? I don't think a cylinder will work, but I want to try something really quick. Okay. Actually, let me turn it back right. Oops. I wanted to see if I can stretch. What's up, King? How's it going? Sometimes it's just really loud, so I mute my mic. Okay. I have to fix this. There we go. His face is a little fat. I think his face might be a little fat. I think something like that, maybe. These might be a little thick. Okay, they look a little bit closer in the drawing. And I think there's more of a bend to them. So they don't come too far up over his mouth, it looks like. What's up, MT? I thought at some point you might be using ZBrush to sculpty. But what's this one? This is this is Nomad Sculpt. This is Nomad Sculpt, the only sculpting app I know. I keep forgetting to look up when I actually learned Nomad, or like first like picked it up. Okay, so I feel his head might be a little. There we go. Oops. I hate these cones. I don't know how to get rid of them. How do I get rid of those cones? Widget size. So yeah, this is Nomad Sculpt on the iPad Pro. An eye tutorial. You know, I think I actually... Did I actually make one? I might have actually recorded. Let me check. Sometimes I record things and then I forget that I recorded them. I hope I didn't delete the video. Would it be on my phone? I don't know. I'll have to double check. But I will make one. I can show you really quick, I think. Yeah, let me just show you really quick. Since you're here, why not? So I might be able to use these actually for this guy. I have to do them at some point in time. So, do I want to do it on the same canvas? I'll do it on the same canvas. So I start with a sphere, my favorite object, as you all know. And I'm just going to subdivide it until it's at 393, which I don't really know why it's 393. I just feel like I just need to subdivide it. And I think that works. Let me remember how I did it on the Fox one. I did it a couple different ways. Okay, I remember. So next, I'm just gonna make it a PBR. I'll make the front. So it's a lot. It's trickery. Not really trickery, but so this will be our eyeball. So we can go ahead and paint this white and glossy. And I actually made this environment too with these like white, that kind of that environment type thing. I always wanted to make. I wish I had like a fisheye lens so I could make some cool ones. Okay, so I'm gonna name this eye ball. I guess I should have. I can just duplicate it. That's fine. So now we have our eyeball, and I'm gonna add a layer to it, and I'm gonna call this layer iris, and I'm gonna use the selective mask and ellipse. Oh, forgot I have to start in the middle. I'm gonna try to start. Should I do it? Let's see. Oh, that's okay. I can always change it later, I think. There we go. So I'll make a big circle with the selective masks. I want it to be as circular as I can get it. So that's step one, and then I hold mask. I just learned that you hold the mask and then tap the back, and it inverts it. So now it's inverted. I'm on the iris layer, and now I'm just going to paint black, still glossy. So now I painted this, and now I'll just go back to my selective mask, and I think I can get rid of it. So I'll clear it, and then I'll make a new selective mask. And this is kind of a tricky part because I want to make it, it's not bad actually. I want to make it on the outline of the other one. So sometimes it's not exactly perfect, but that's actually pretty good. So we'll go with that. So I'll do the same thing and inverted it. So his eyes are green. So let's take a kind of a limeish green. Looks like his eyes are. That's a pretty good match. And now we'll take paint, glossy again, and then we'll color this in. Why is this not glossy? There we go. Nice and glossy. And here's where the magic comes into it. So I'm going to lower the opacity of the paint, and then I'm going to make it darker. I don't make it too dark just yet. Doesn't have to be too big. And then I'll just shade in part of the eye. Make it a little more intense so I can actually see it. Let me check just to make sure that my screen is clear. Oh my gosh. Okay. So as you see, I'm just kind of doing the kind of thing that I would do in Procreate. That's how I make eyes in Procreate. So I was trying to think of a way to sort of, I was trying to do it in a 3D way, which I kind of have one I like, but I don't know, sometimes like I'll just sit here and try to think of like new ways or the best way to like do an eye. So I'll even go a little bit darker because I really want this outer rim. Even though I probably should have done it the other way since this highlight is here, but that's okay. I think I can actually rotate the... Well, that's a little dark, but that's okay. I can always smudge it. Okay, so the outer rim is dark. Now I'll just take smudge and smudge, I don't really like smudge that much because I don't feel like it adequately it doesn't adequately kind of give the airbrush effect that I want, but I have to use the tools I have. Okay, so I mean this is okay. Okay, that looks passable. So maybe I have to look at that again. Just make sure that I'm doing it the right way. It's not extra dim. Oh yes, okay. Alright, so I'm trying to remember the steps. I do remember, let me just add another layer. And I'm trying to remember what I did first. Actually, I know what I can do on this layer. So I'll just take a lighter version of and I'll actually make it a little more yellow. I think that will work for this color. On Procreate, I just use the add layer, so it sort of changes the color slightly. So I'm trying to emulate that. So I want the brush to be fairly thick, and you can see I'm kind of like doing like a radial type situation. So I'll make it smaller, and there's one spot that I want it to be the lightest. Kind of do it the lightest there. I don't think I be able to get it brighter. I think it's just going to go whiter. So there we go. So now I'm just going to deselect the mask, and I will have another mask, and I'll do the same thing here. That's pretty close. It's just a little bit too far over. That looks pretty good. It's close enough. It's close enough. Sometimes I go crazy trying to get it absolutely perfect. It's like I wish I could just be okay with it, but I also want to make sure that I'm exactly in the front. Okay, that's good. So same thing, I'll just invert it by holding down mask and tapping the background. And I'm going to make sure I do this on another layer, the layer above, and now I'm just going to go black again. Wait, can I just paint all? Oh yeah, I don't even have to use the brush. I don't know why I never really thought to do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to deselect the mask. And we can actually, if we want, we can go back to this layer and you can just add like a, just something so it doesn't go off of whatever we want to work on, so it doesn't like go out of the frame. And you can sort of just, I feel like I want to make these a little more yellowish. Let's see what I can get here. So I'll just use the paint brush again on that same layer. And I just want to add some pops of yellow. And sometimes they're if it's a little hard, then I'll just use the smudge and sort of do it radially. And I don't have to worry about really going out of the lines because I did the mask. Otherwise, I wouldn't want the yellow to go outside of the lines. Although I can see that I should have masked off the green and not the black. So that really doesn't really work. So I do actually have to pay attention to how far I'm smudging. So let's do select, clear, and that's pretty much how I did. That's how I did the other eye, and it's a really cool effect because it just doesn't seem like I don't know. I just like the way that it looks in Procreate. So let's see what happens if we do a lighter color. And I just sort of, let me go make sure I'm on that layer. Just wanted to see what it looks like. Sometimes I do like a lighter kind of rim color around the iris. So I'm just curious how that will look here. Nah. But let's see what happens if I did darker over here. And sometimes it's kind of cool to do like subtle like changes. So it sort of looks like the little artifacts in the eye. Again, just things that I would do in Procreate. And I'll do some dark just to show, just to make some shadows in these front artifacts. And again, this is behind that layer, so I'm not too worried about the bright spots since all this is behind. So something like that. And if it's too much, then I'll just kind of smudge it. I can smudge it back towards the iris if I think it's too much. I really don't want to see any details. I want the details to just kind of feel like they're there. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do the eyes. That's how I did them for the other guy. Yep. So yeah, just selective masks, and I'll make a video. I'll make a video just doing an eye as well, because it's kind of like there's this way, and then there's also the other way I make eyes is, I think I can do this one actually fairly quickly. Oops. So here's the other way that I do them. Turn this right. Let me just solo this. So the other way is, and this is how I do them, is sort of similar to the glow, but it doesn't really have to glow. Let me figure out what I'm doing here. Let me subdivide this again. Actually, I don't need to subdivide it that much, because this is a more rudimentary eye. So I will just take the split tool, and use rectangle, and I'll do that. Then I'll take this end one and paint it. And then I'll take the split tool again, and that's how I make the little rim. And then take the end, and then I'll just color it any color that I want the iris to be. So in this case, it's sort of a limeish green. Oops. So we'll paint that, and then I'll take the split tool again and make the iris like that. Paint that. So that's another way that I do them. But yeah, I think subdividing would help this not look so messed up. But just for a quick eye, then I'll just do it this way. And then obviously if I want to give it that effect, then I'll just, where is it? I'll just do always unlit. And if you do additive, then you can change the opacity, turn two-sided off to give it that clean look. So that's how I would do like the glow as well. But I think the eyeball's pretty good. I wonder if I can oh yeah, it's all on one thing, so I don't need to even worry about it. I can just hide it for now. Yeah, I love tackling eyes though. It's such a, they're so, it's really fun because that's the one thing that I really, really want to master. I always want to master eyes. And yeah, so I really had to figure out a way that I could do it. Actually, the first time, the first eye, I didn't really like it as much. So I did these eyes, and that's the method that I just showed you, because I did the other method I think on the last one. Oh, also I did him in some other colors too, just for fun. I did a rose gold version that I just posted on Instagram. But where's the other version? This is the original one. And I actually had to do, which it isn't bad. I don't mind it. Actually, I think I might have, yeah, I think I just colored it in, but I didn't add that, I didn't add the darkness and that stuff. So that's what I did for those eyes. But also I had to do reconstructive surgery, so I cut all of this and I made his whole snout smaller, because once I finished this, I realized that it's a little big. It was just a little too big. So there's that one, and this is when I cut and made the snout smaller, and I think it looks better smaller. Okay, let me save this. And then I'm just going to close this. I'll close these two. And I think I can close that. I was going to make this. I am going to make this eventually. That RAM. But I also just learned about closing it out, so I can, get rid of some of that like stored up memory. Okay, so I think these actually look pretty good. I do think that I can move them a little more and just angle them up a little bit more and make them a little wider. Yeah, there we go. That feels good. So now this part, you know what I should do? I should select I should select this part. That way I don't mess with it inadvertently. But I want to move this part so that can't solo it. Let me lock it. That's another tool I learned. Oh no. You know what? I think I can just fake that. I don't think I actually need that. So let me actually, oops. I hate when I do that. That's one thing that I always do. I forget that I have to choose. I wish it would just stay on what I last used, but that's okay. So let me trim that, because I can always just use clay and just make that stripe there. And looking at it, it's actually a little bit. Let's see if I have to. Oh, okay, there we go. I think that's more what I'm looking for, but it's still a little bit. Did anyone else watch any good movies or anything? We watched Spencer, and we didn't mind it. Thought Kristen Stewart did a good job as Princess Di. There we go. There's a tad bit of like a curve up, which is what I was looking for. Okay, so I think that works. Maybe I'll just keep his mouth closed. I mean, his mouth is closed in the image. Okay, so his eye. I have to remember to kind of keep looking at it from all angles. Okay, so it seems like we have plenty of room for his eye. But how do I want to do it? So I think I'll move. Oops. I think think I'll move this up here. Maybe make a nice round spot where his eye can start. And do I want to use clay or do I want to use... So he's got a nice arch here. Oh, I wonder if I can just use a sphere. Nah, that's too much work, I think. So I'll use clay and subtract. I think that's the better option. Oh, let me turn it back to Metcap. Yeah, Metcap is the way to go. So I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. So it's sort of like this. I feel like this part is the most critical part. I think I made it too high up. I think it's supposed to be here. Oops. Okay. So I think it would be... Let me see if I can use the eye. Oh my god, I did everything on the back. And dang, symmetry gets me all the time. And I want to actually put these in for quite a while because, oops, I have to really make sure that everything is symmetrical. But this might help me for the positioning. So how big are they in relation? So they're actually much bigger than those things. So something like that. And if he was looking forward, I think I should just tilt it a little bit so I can see it. So it almost looks like it's right on top of that thing. I think that would actually work. I think something like that. So let me just turn it and take a better look. So the mouth would be about here. I'm just trying to make sure that the proportions are fairly decent. And his eye is actually stretched out too. So I don't know if I'm going to stretch it out like that much. It's actually at the base. So I feel like it'd be somewhere like there. So if that's the case, then let's take this and lock it and sort of move these as though we were going to accommodate this eye here. So we want to puff up his little eye socket area, which I can always do more with adding clay. Okay, so now let me go back with the clay and just try to dig this eye out a little bit more. And of course I will have to bring that cheek up into the eye. But for now I just want to be able to see that eye. Yeah, it feels like it's in the right spot. So let's move this in. It's not bad. I mean, I know it looks terrible, but it's all about the process of slowly getting it to where you want it to, how you want it to look. And I'm seeing steps ahead, which is good because I can already see things that I like, even though it's not quite there yet. Something like that. And also, this actually comes, you can tell that it comes to a point. So, let me do that. So that's another important thing. So this comes to a point. Go. So let's just smooth this out, and then we can just rework everything. Get everything nice and smooth, and then we can rework it. Kind of see where we are. But it's a great start. And I'm also gonna be really, really cognizant about when I what is the word? Like remeshing, because sometimes I do come into issues where like I'm really worried about fine details that sort of gets lost when I remesh. But I think that's just because I just haven't been. Do I want this thinner? Yeah, I see a little bit of a bubble. I don't like that from this angle. I want it to be the right shape from all angles. Even from under here. And I actually think this eye still needs to be closer to this little thing here. I wonder if I want to bring it up closer. Maybe the eye can go, let me unlock it. Maybe the eye can go down a little bit more and forward a little bit more. Let's see how that looks. And actually the head, I think this needs to come down a little bit more. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. I don't like these lumps though. I mean, I don't mind him having chubby cheeks, but let's see if I can smooth all this out. I don't know why it's not really smoothing that much. I need to remesh it. So let's remesh it to 200. I want to keep the clay nice and soft. So that when I'm doing things like this, I can almost like melt it back into place. Okay. Let's see what it looks like in PBR. I'm just curious. What is it like in the front? It's really important that the front looks good. These, I feel like I might be able to bring a little bit closer and actually angle them out a little bit. Okay. It's not bad. Oops. Okay. Okay, it looks like this is a little bit more. And this still looks a little bit. Okay, let's try to smooth all this out. Keep everything nice and smooth as possible. That's a good, yeah, that works. That definitely works. Opening a mouth that way. I think how do I usually make them? I think I usually start out with like a sphere, and then I just like push the inside down, and then like just like stretch it. I think it's very intuitive for me. Oh, actually, I did do that way for the Megalodon. I just actually for the Megalodon I just made like the sphere, and then I just cut the mouth out, and that's how I did a lot of the mouths when I was first starting out. Like if it was, I would just like make it really really big. would make it really, really big, and then I would just like just do something like that. But actually isn't that bad, to be honest. Kind of like it. I mean, it's tough for me to not draw creatures with their mouths open. I really like it, but I feel like I should just try to draw it with his mouth closed. Even though I like it open, though. I don't know. If I make it closed, then it's just going to be something like this. It's going to be something like that, and then it's going to be something like this. God, I got to work on my freaking cheeks. Sometimes they look horrendous. It's like the placement of them has to be right, or else they look really bad. So something like that. But I want to, I mean, I kind of like that mouth actually, but I think I want to make it a little higher. I think I need to make it a little higher. It looks really good though. Do I have to make it higher? Let's use clay and just sort of build up. Wait, I want to make sure I'm on the right layer. Yeah, before I make any two more rash decisions, I want to make sure that the eyes actually look good where they are. I feel like I need to bring them closer together. And that actually might help my cause here, because then I won't have to. The only thing I don't like about this line is it's a bit. I feel like I may want it a bit straighter. Although it looks really good, but I think I want to stay true to. Otherwise, I just wind up like wanting to change it when it's too late. Yeah, so I think I want to make these closer together. Oh. Tilting the eyes, so when I reverse it, the eyes are already tilted inwards, so I don't have none of that doll type look thing that I hate. Ugh, those cones, how do I get rid of them? Is it local? Is it auto? I do not know how to get rid of those things. If the base layer be the closed mouth and then do this method, you can use the opacity slider to make the mouth. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. So the base layer would be the closed mouth. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. It's very true. I probably get confused though with all like the teeth and stuff. But that's it. That's very interesting though. I'll definitely have to play around with that because I like doing the little slider animations. I was talking about that in one of my other videos. Cyan was asking me about animation and things like that. Which, it would be cool to make little fun ones like that. Let me turn my phone off. I usually never have my phone on, actually. Every now and again I put my phone on a sound, but not usually. I usually keep it on silent all the time. Okay, so I really liked that mouth, so let me do that. Should I do the... I just want to try out something else with the eye. See how that makes it look. I think it just makes it look weird. I think I like the full eye. Full eye, and let me use clay and lock this. Sometimes I notice it won't go on the layer that I'm tapping. It'll take like a little while. I should add a little more here. It's not bad. Let's smooth this out so it doesn't look like complete garbage, and we'll see what we have. See if we have to remesh it again to soften up this clay. I feel like I need to bring the eye back more. Yeah, that looks better, I think. Okay. I want to have a nice dome sort of effect here. That's what we're looking for. So let me add a little more clay just so I can sort of build up this nice dome. Let me remesh this. There we go. Soften up this clay a bit. I'm just going to flatten this for now. What's the last thing you made, King? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I did do the little eye thing. That was my first time playing around with it. And it does work really well. It's really cool. Low battery? How do I have low battery on this? I'm so confused. It's plugged in. How do I have low battery? I'm pretty sure that this is plugged in. This is like a recent thing. My iPhone should be charging as I'm doing everything, but it's still, somehow the battery still dies. I've only been streaming for an hour and 12 minutes. Alright, well hopefully it doesn't go off. If it goes off, then I guess that's the end of the stream. How did I do that to the eye? I feel like I flattened the eye at some point in time. Oh my lord. Did I? Or is that just the Met cap? No, that's definitely flattened. When did I do that? Oh, whatever, it's too late now. I'll just have to try and smooth it out. Okay. Okay, so for his little mouth, you know what, let's try it. Sphere, I gotta change, I gotta actually, it's not going to look as good as it did before. That's always the way it goes. So it would be like this. It would come like this. And it would sort of look like that. Oh my god. Oh my god. What did you do? The top is perfect too. Oh, I know what I did. That was because of my moving. That should be better. Just for safety, I'll pull it out a little bit more and we'll trim away. Looks good. Oh no. What did I do? Did I like trim it on the base? I don't know what I did. I'm dumb. I can never tell where anything is if it's... Interesting. Velociraptor. That's awesome. So this layer won't go back to the original layer for some reason. Unless I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. I was probably doing something wrong. Knowing me. Oh. Okay, so let me... You know what? Let's do this the clean way. So I'll make a sphere. Mirror it. Validate it. It's a clean way to get that nice cheek. But they have to be at the right angle. They have to be like in front of the eye. Well, I guess that actually works. That's in front of the eye enough. I wonder if I can actually stretch this. It sort of melts into the... Oops. Melts into the face. But that should actually be straight. You know what? I'm going to keep this like it is. Whoops. I think I'm going to keep it like that. Just make it a little more smiley. Because I think the other part will go... In the drawing, it looks like this line comes down and then the other one goes kind of behind it. So I'll make another. I'll just use clay actually. I'm going to try to make that behind. But his eye is still... Maybe I should move it up and forward? Take this out a little bit. Starting to look like that. I think it's like a Star Trek character. I don't really watch Star Trek, but there's one character that he's starting to look like, and I don't like it. Some alien looks like a catfish. And you are not destined to look like a catfish, my friend. I will figure it out. I think it looked better before. Maybe I just need to clay. Maybe I just need to clay it all, because this eye should be straight. That's the only part that I'm having issues with. I have to make this eye straight somehow. Straight at the bottom. Let's see what this crease looks like. Still a little far up, so I'm going too far. There we go, that's good. That's definitely better. These are atrocious, so let me fix these. I know it's going to melt away, but I do have to figure that out. And maybe I just need to, maybe I can just use this cheek. That might be the best way to sort of meld these two issues. looks like this goes up to this part of the head. So I'll bring that up. Wait, does that look crazy now? For now, I like the cheek like that. So let's mix all this together. So we have the main and we have that. And let's remesh at 200. Let's see where we're at. Oh, it's dinner time. I don't know. I wonder. My fiance must be working late. Usually I'm gone because she comes out and forces me to spend the rest of the evening hanging out. Uh-oh. Okay. It's not bad. This is still a little weird here. It's actually not terrible. Looks good from the front. So maybe let's try something else. So eyeball. If I duplicate the eyeball and what am I trying to do here? How do I paint on it? Oh, do I want to use a lid? You know what? It is an option. It's an option to use it as a lid. So I'll just make it a little bigger. Color it if I could. I think this is the Metcalf we're using. I just want it to be paint all. Wait, did I not? Why didn't it paint all? I'm so confused. There's still a black there. Let's see what's going on with PBR. Maybe it's like a mask is still there? No. Oh, maybe it's like a layer thing. Delete these layers. There we go. So let's see if this is an actual option or not. Take my trim. Oh, actually that's the wrong side. Oh, there we go. That's what we need. And we can actually keep it flat, but actually it doesn't, I don't think that matters. Because the eye is solid, so I can just leave it like that. So that looks pretty good. I think I might want to, we'll go ahead and use inflate. Wait, should I flip all this to the other side? I feel like I should flip it, start doing flippies. because I can like mess things up. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to duplicate this and duplicate lid. And then I'm going to flip object, lid, flip object. PBR. Bakar, what up? Welcome. Oh, I think I gotta go make dinner. Oh, I'm hungry and I have a slight headache. I don't know why. But I feel like this is a good icon, right? So maybe let's make this the icon. But he's coming along nicely. Oh yeah, it's already an hour and a half. I only meant to do like 40 minutes. But I'm going to go make dinner. I appreciate you guys. King, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate the tips. That's what makes doing the live so much fun. It's always great to like just like chat and like, you know, figure out different things and see and new things with the app. So I appreciate it. Bakar, thanks for swinging by. I appreciate you. I think it's just been us. Oh, and MT. All right, so keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll catch you all in the next video. I'll probably be working on more on this tonight, probably around like 11 o'clock. I'll be back into this little guy. All right. Have a good night, guys. Until later. Till later.